Hey, Artem.
What's up, Sean?
So yeah, it's great to be with you, and we're here to talk about the online SAS journey you've just been on. And yeah, when I just tune in here with you right now, I think the thing I'm most curious about is yeah, what impact did it have on you, like being in the training, and yeah, what feels most alive to share.
Yeah, I've done different trainings before, different personal growth and leadership stuff, and definitely felt like this has been the most impactful of the trainings that I've done. Um, yeah, I mean, just the practice of circling is something that I've ran across, and I've seen the power of it, and I've seen how it was something that's been missing in my life, and being able to like go deeper into the practice and to have a group of people every week consistently doing it, um, and just there's kind of a lot, between the buddy circling and the quad and theory into practice sessions. It's like a real deep immersion,
Mm.
and specifically I think what's really good is that it was a 6 month thing. That's what I really appreciated about it, because it allowed me to live with the practice and allowed me to practice it for a long time. Whereas like there's been things I've done where it's like a 4 day thing, where it's like a 4 day immersion. Um, there's a power in that too, but there's something about coming back every single week and refining,
Mm.
and becoming better at the practice. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated that container, and doing it for so long, doing it for almost 6 months now.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the I don't know if you know this, but because of COVID, we created this online course, and, there was a bit of a like, can we recreate the magic of an SAS live person event, which is such a transformational container, but it's so relies on it's like 4 day weekends we do 3 times during the 6 months. It's not this continuous week by week, even though there are a lot of structures still that people do in between those weekends. But they were so powerful. It was like, oh, what's going to happen? But what we've seen is that the advantage of online, like you said, is this weekly. You keep touching in, you keep touching in, and with the same guys who are also committed like you were. And it seems like, yeah, that it's like it's very unique, the online SAS. And I imagine a lot of people don't realize like what kind of transformation is possible online.
yeah, it makes me think about Shenzhen Young. He actually spoke about the difference between doing in person, because they also went through the same shift, like a lot of meditation teachers, having to do things online and worrying that it wouldn't be as effective. And I think Shenzhen Young said that he believes that the online meditation retreats are just as effective. I've been working on my own meditation practice, and everything that I do has been through online in that as well. So yeah, it's surprisingly, I think it's just as effective. I think there are certain components that are missing, especially when it comes to circling. And like, I'm grateful that I was able to experience circling at Monastic Academy in person and have like 5 days to be with people in like a physical 3D environment. Um, but yeah, it's amazing how much of it does translate. If not all of it, I think a good portion of it does translate to the online experience. Um, and yeah, I saw that your format before was like the 4 day intensive thing. And I imagine that's, there's also a power to that. But now it's like through COVID, you get to experience something different.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what it was like for you to do this whole new way, this 6 month journey. How is that different for you?
It it was similar. It was like I knew online circling can be good, and but then I knew like the SAS has just been such a transformational experience even to lead. It's like So it was like I was coming in a bit like, okay, what's going to happen? And you were the first run, because we've done two others, but this is the first time I came in, and I was surprised. What was really nice for me was like the intimacy with you guys. There was like I had, Wednesday nights I was getting to be with you guys again, and it's a good chunk of time. It's a good 3-hour session. So the amount we got to explore, and it was a different way of also leading for me, because it was like in these 4-day weekends you get kind of taken on a journey and you kind of follow the threads. It's like it goes, it's yeah. But that with you guys, it was like I was getting to know you slowly, and then each week would almost be a new chapter and new journey, and but they were all connected. And so I was actually, yeah, touched by it, and I especially like it that here I am Wednesday night, I'm with you in New York, I'm with someone else in Estonia, and someone else in London, and we're all, and then we're having this, like, we're developing our leadership, developing our presence, we're having this intimacy that from being just present to what is, but also trying to be ourselves. And we're all just here in our bedrooms or front room, just developing this. And that for me also, like to look at the big picture as well. And it's like humanity's created this amazing technology, which can sometimes feel also like it's overwhelming, like social media, and it's addictive, and yet now we can, it actually helps us to take our transformation to the next level as well. And yeah, that's very hopeful for me.
Yeah, there was a piece that you were saying about how you know, when you were doing the immersion experience before, and it was like 4 days, and you were with somebody for like however, it was a long period of time, for over 4 days. And now with here, it's like you were getting to know people gradually. But it's interesting because that's how I've been doing circling over Circle Anywhere also. And I notice how it's interesting how you get to know people week in and week out, like just doing a circle here, a circle there. And it's like you get a little piece of information, you get a little bit here, a little bit there. You kind of get the flavor of the person over time. Whereas in my normal interactions, you know, you meet somebody and you hang out with them and they tell you their whole life story on like the first day, and then you already have an idea of who this person is, and you start classifying them and putting them in a box. There's
Yeah.
something about getting to know somebody in this like very subtle, picking up on the little things and just really soaking in the flavor of the person.
Mm.
There's something about it that's different, and it's a different kind of intimacy.
Mm. Yeah. And what I wonder if, like, I've got a question which feels quite a deep question, so see what comes, but it's like, what kind of transformation did you experience?
Yeah, that's an important question. And I think just through circling, just learning circling, when I got introduced to the practice, I was like, oh, this is what I've been missing in my life.
Mm.
This is what, because for a while I've been having this kind of like urge to go deeper in my relationships, but I didn't know how, you know. And I would always like catch myself hanging out with somebody and like having this urge, but not knowing, like, simply how, like, simple thing I learned, I want to be closer to you. Like just saying that is like such a difficult thing. We wouldn't even think of that. But that's just something that emerges through this practice. So like wanting to be closer to somebody and not even being able to name it, like such a simple thing, just to name it. And I think just through the practice, I've already had over, I don't know, it's been a little over a year since I've been doing the practice, and I've had a lot of transformational conversations with friends that I
Mm.
feel like impacted our relationships and allowed us to see different parts of each other and allowed us to grow and expand our relationship.
Mm.
And yeah, and I think with that, with SAS in particular, it allowed me to you have the levels of practice that you guys say. There's a really basic understanding, just kind of grasping it on a very basic level, and then there's a deeper and a deeper, and like the deepest level is just you're circling all the time. And I'm certainly not at that place, but I see it more and more where I'll spontaneously get into this kind of way of relating with people. And when I'm not relating like that, it's almost like there's something in the back. Oh, I don't like how I'm relating right now. I don't like how I'm like
Mm.
trying to prove something or tell a story. Like I actually want to know what it's like to be this person in connection with me. There's something there that's but yeah, I already feel a difference in my relationships, and it's almost like a calling, I would say, like this, like coming across circling, and like becoming a facilitator. It wasn't like, oh, I want to facilitate necessarily. I just wanted to go deeper with the practice. But yeah, it just something about it feels like, oh, this is my path. Like this is a big part of my path, like very significant. It's not just something I do. It's not a course that I do and move on. It's something that it's a practice I want to live with for the rest of my life.
Yeah, there's so many resonances in your story to how I experienced it, and it kind of takes me back because at first for me it was like, oh, I get to, like, it's not just luck. Like, I'd sometimes be in a party and I would meet someone and it would go deep and I'd love it. I'd be like, wow, this matters so much to me. And there was almost something in me that was almost not okay to want deep and intimacy and stuff. It was almost like, yeah, almost like it's socially, I don't know, it was needy or something, or easy to self-judge. But then when I saw that you could do it almost, yeah, it could be an easy experience to access, or there's a very clear gateway to it, I was just like totally in. And of course, at first it was very raw and I didn't really know what I was doing. And sometimes it was hit and miss. Um, and then through practicing, it just starts to become clear, like it starts to just land and your awareness sharpens, and you can find deeper layers of truth, and realize things like, oh, I'm sharing that, oh, something I want to say to you, but I'm a bit scared. And you would think in the past that, oh, if I'm a bit scared, that will put someone off, but you share your truth and it seems to only create more openness in the connection for you to share your truth. um, and even now after like 15 years, I still get surprised that my vulnerability or my uncertainty actually is a doorway to more connection. That's, yeah, something you definitely get as you go deeper, yeah, through the SAS.
Yeah, it's actually making me think about another aspect of, you know, having my experience circling and circling with different people, and then the difference of like doing it with people in SAS and doing it with you and the other trainers and coaches. Um, it's not the same. It's not always the same. And you can have circling is like an edgy thing, and there could definitely be things that happen that will um, it there could be like traumas around stuff. There could be little people can say things, and it can really people can project, and these kind of things happen in my experience outside of SES, and then coming in and just seeing like how to skillfully do it and how to do it on a different level.
Mm,
It's circling as a superpower, and I think when you have the power, you understand the skills, but you could wield it in a wrong way.
mm,
Just like a concentrated mind, like concentration is a powerful tool, but used in the wrong way, it can cause damage. So like I really appreciated the level, the quality of the presence, and the quality and the ability to hold the space
mm,
um, that the trainers and the coaches bring there, because I think that's what can happen. And like I see this happen with other people. Like they'll start circling and they'll get into kind of a situation where somebody projects or says something like really hurtful somehow, and they just can't recover from it. Like I've seen this happen to several people. I've heard several stories like this.
mm.
So I think it's really helpful to kind of learn it in this kind of context.
Yeah,
Um,
I appreciate you, yeah, seeing that, and And in some ways it's like, well, some ways it's like a martial art. So, you know, and on SAS, it's like, there's something about, yeah, deepening your relationships that, and with friends, and some friends are really open to that, and some you go slower, and some it doesn't seem right to go too much. So yeah, but then when you come into a group and they're up for it, it's like they're committed as well, then the depth you can start to explore, and how much you can develop your capacities. But then, yeah, and then if you're someone who's been doing it for 10, 15 years, then it's almost like another practice again, like the subtleties you can explore. And we've had to really learn, you know, because circling's so new. And the thing, you named it so well, like that, you know, sometimes you don't even know why, but a certain connection can really get you in touch with something that's hard to, you don't know what's really going on. And that's why we've gone to, you know, very advanced kind of trauma trainings, and, deeper kind of spiritual trainings as well, and meditation, and embodiment. And that's, our team's very committed to that. And then we integrate that into circling to support us with these dimensions for the psychological safety or the integration, but also because it's also exciting, these deep realms we get to explore. And just in human connection, it's like, it seems to be a doorway to all these different exciting possibilities, rich kind of learnings we can develop. But it's still always at the core, it's about me and you, or me and a group, being truthful, and navigating connection together.
Yeah, and hearing you say that, it's like that the truth, like sometimes we want to say what is true, but we could say it in such a way that it's detrimental to the other person and to us. So there's different ways of saying it. And I think for myself, like first coming upon circling and then knowing, oh, I could just say what I feel. And I've always been kind of very blunt. So there was so there's, now thinking back, there was several things that I said to people afterwards, and I was like, oh, like, yeah, there was a truth to what I was saying, but it was, the way I said it was not skillful. There was actually a deeper level of truth that I couldn't even see at the time. And that you know, there's a skill that comes with deepening this practice, and picking up more layers of truth.
Mm.
The other thing you mentioned, like, you know, doing this practice for like 10 to 15 years, and what I really love is the element of beginner's mind, that it's like, and I seen this with you, I seen this with John, I seen this with the other facilitators. It's just like, even though you have so much experience, there's always these moments that are just like, they'll take you to the edge, and there's like a vulnerability. So even if like you're the expert, or you're the trainer, you're the coach, but you still see, there's still moments where we saw you in your vulnerability.
Mm.
And there's something about that it just, it kind of like evens the floor, and it just puts us in a very human level, where it's not like this hierarchical, like you're the guru teaching me a skill and I'm looking up to you. And
Mm.
I really love that, because it's like, no matter how good I get at this practice, there's going to be moments where I'm circling somebody for the first time and I'm in this super vulnerable state.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I'm lost. And I love that, like, innocence and that beginner mind to the
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah, it's a good one to keep your feet on the ground. And it's so relieving for me, actually, because it feels so good to get a mastery, and it can impress other people, the mastery. But when it's grounded in the humanness, you can keep coming back to that, and then yeah, those dynamics can, yeah, be grounded and simplified. And I wonder if you experience this dimension. The other thing I love about that is, if I can be human, or like, you know, bring my own dilemmas still, because, you know, this amount of circling and meditation and all the things I've done, it doesn't suddenly make life simple, or haven't resolved every human challenge, that's for sure. In some ways it makes it more nuanced, and I'm so grateful for the journey, but it still feels like I'm on my journey. And then, and because I can bring that and it's actually inspires the leadership. It can actually make the practice a better leadership if you bring your vulnerability. But then it also gives me this sense that I'm transforming every time I lead. So I'm not like getting worn out, or it's exciting to go and lead because I'm also getting transformation through it. And I wonder if you've had that experience as well. Now you've like gone, like now you're leading yourself.
Yeah, the experience in regards to vulnerability and to like bringing your own vulnerability, your own like, um, I feel nervous right now. I feel shaky. I don't know what's going on. I got to lead this circle, and I'm kind of like at my edge. Is that like what you're referring to?
Yeah, and
That
just and the sense that when you lead now, that you're, I wonder if you get that sense of transforming yourself, even though you're leading. It's not like you're just guiding others into their transformation. You're actually having a transformational experience as well.
Oh, absolutely. I just did a circle. Um, I just did a circle the other week with one of my friends. Like I was introducing him to it, and I mean, every time you do the birthday circle, it's like getting to be in another person's world. You're just training these skills of really feeling the other person, really feeling into that person, and really feeling into the connection between you and that person. And it's infinite because there's so much depth to that human experience. And I don't think, honestly, I don't think there's any such thing as a one-way transformation. I think that's an illusion. So if the other person was transformed, so were you. So like after having this circle with my friend, he was like texting me, "Oh my God, that circle really impacted me. Um, I'm having these such a deep conversation with my wife right now, and I'm like sharing all these emotions and layers of myself that I haven't shared." And just through hearing that, it's like it's knowing that something important is happening, and knowing that somehow I attuned to this person. Like I didn't really do anything. It's almost like the practice just does its own thing. But through attuning in that way, you see what happens. It's very humbling too. It's very humbling because it's you just learn the practice, and then once you just follow the principles, and it just does itself. And it transforms
Mm.
everybody who's involved. I don't think there's like that person. Just did a circle the other day with a couple of other people that have been doing the practice for a while, and like I had a shift, and I'm sure that me having a shift was them also having a shift. Something was happening for them to see that. It's transformational, and it's also very humbling.
The thing I've liked getting to know you and seeing your leadership develop, there's almost a childlike um, kind of enjoyment or passion in you, and like that thing you said, like, oh yeah, like the process just does itself, and you said it just like, oh yeah, that's cool. But actually this is quite a big thing. Like even in like developmental research, they talk about this state of being that they see in some kind of leaders, where they call it self-transforming mind. So it's by just being yourself, just by being present and in the process of whatever organization or whatever capacity you're leading, transforms you in the process. And by transforming you, you're more effective on what you're into, who you're interacting with or the project you're interacting with. And by having a bigger impact on that, that has a bigger impact on you, and it's this like positive feedback loop. But at the same time of all this transformations happening, you actually feel like you're doing less than ever, like you're allowing it to happen. And so you described that in a very kind of cool childlike innocent way.
Yeah, appreciate you reflecting that back and seeing that in me, like that innocence and that passion of a young kid. And hearing you say the self-transforming mind, and how like this transformation starts to create itself, and you're doing less and less. And I think that really reflects to what you call surrender leadership, which is this style of being. And it's literally you you get out of the way. It's like in the process happens, you bring yourself, but at the same time you get out of the way. It's very paradoxical. I think it's very hard to even put into words. But when you're in it, you feel it, and then you see, oh, actually, I'm not trying to transform this person. Whereas I think there's, there is a lot of that for me still, like wanting to like self-actualize myself
Yeah.
and help other people, and actually helping other people is me somehow self-actualizing myself. But through this process, you realize that you don't even have to do that. Like you just step in and, friends and master, like, what's the purpose? And I'm like, there is no purpose. Like, there's no, like, when beginners start a lot of times, like, are we getting somewhere? Is there somewhere to get? There's something to do. And I'm like, there's no purpose. I'm like, just what's here? What's alive for you right now? And just, it somehow has that effect. It somehow
Yeah.
allows people to transform and discover deeper levels of themselves and other, somehow. It's like
Yeah.
magic.
And it's so hard to put into words, because when we say I think it sounds really elegant, but it's hard to believe that you would put less effort in and yet suddenly be immersed in so much, like you get so much learning and like it, but you're not trying to make it happen, but you just learn so much more subtlety, and you find yourself being more yourself. You suddenly see more dimensions, and you're suddenly having this archetypal experience, and then you're like meeting someone in trauma, but you're doing it in a way you've never done before, but you're learning about even the process of trauma, and then the next moment you're like just having a human to human kind of joking around, but the joking has aliveness about it and penetration, and it's not always like that as well. Like we have plenty of moments in circling where we're like, what's going on, and am I doing it well? And then you suddenly realize you're actually processing the shame in you, not you're not doing something shameful, you're actually giving yourself a chance to integrate that. So yeah, so it becomes very touching, but you don't know that at first until the process kind of shows it to you.
Yeah, I think that's important, that other aspect of it, the uncomfortable aspect of it, and the not always enjoyable or pleasant, because I've definitely had a lot of, and you still get that. You still have circles, and you still have moments. I still have moments where it's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, but you realize there's something there too, and it's not always supposed to be pleasant. And
Yeah,
there's learning happening, and sometimes you enjoy it, and it's like, this is so nice. There's so much connection. There's so much love and warmth, and sometimes you're just dealing with your shadows, and that's another thing that I really like about the practice, is there's so many elements of it. um,
yeah. Well, I wanted to kind of keep this shorter today, and because we're going to have a longer conversation, I hope, and
for sure, yeah.
go into transformation, and this already feels like we're doing that. I wonder, just before we finish, is there anything more you'd like to say about the course or circling, just to wrap up?
Yeah, I just highly recommend the SAS
Mm.
experience, whether you're new and you've never done circling, or you have some experience and you just want to deepen the practice and you want to do it really with skilled facilitators. The amount of value that you get, I forgot, like I was just curious to, however much I paid, I just wanted to see how much it was, like, per hour. Like the amount of hours you get over 6 months is just incredible, between, the 3 hour session you do every week, and then you get 5 coaching calls. You get, I think it was like 4 quad calls. That's with you and a
Mm.
couple other group members. And then you get a buddy circle every week that you're doing with a different buddy. And there's just so much support. And then you guys did extra sessions when it was needed, and the theory into practice. It's really a lot. I think that the thing, it's a lot. So if you really want to do it, you have to commit,
Mm.
and then you'll get the most out of it. And yeah, it's just been amazing, and I'm looking forward to keep going deeper and hopefully doing more trainings with you guys, because it's just had a profound impact on my life.
Mm. Well, thank you so much for sharing and being here today, and yeah, I'm looking forward to going deeper with you as well.
Yeah, I look forward to having another conversation with you for sure about this, and just diving deeper also into your experience, and how you approach circling and trauma and all these other practices, meditation, integrating them. So I look forward to it.
Cool, man. Big
Thanks a
love.
lot. Thank you, Sean. All the best.